Welcome to Behind the Mic with AudioFile Magazine. I'm Joe Reed, and I have Stephen Cummings with me, who is a longtime contributor to AudioFile, but new to Behind the Mic. Hi, Stephen, and welcome.
Hi, Joe. Great to be here. This is kind of an honor. I'm excited to be here talking about audiobooks, one of my all time favorite things.
And I am really, really glad that you are here. So, what are you going to start off with?
I'm going to start off with a book by Walter Mosley, and it's called Been Wrong So Long. It Feels Like Right. Got that?
Mhm.
This is, first of all, I'll note Walter Mosley, very prolific, writes a lot. This is my first one by him that I have listened to. And the narrator is Dion Graham. I think you've talked about him at least once or twice before.
Many times. He's one of my favorite narrators.
And I have to say mine as well. I've listened to many books that he has narrated over the last, 15 years or so. This is a book featuring Joe King Oliver, and he is a private investigator. Now, this is book 3 of a series. And I will say this, if you happen to just encounter this one first, you won't be lost. Obviously, starting at the beginning gives you all the backstory you need, but you won't be too lost along the way if you pick this one up. DeYoung makes every performance sound easy. He's just known for this. But he's also known for subtle qualities to his performances
Absolutely.
that just lets you know that he's very skilled and brings that skill to his work. And I'll note this as we go.
Before we get into Dion's performance, which I'm sure is completely wonderful since
Mhm.
this is an earphones winner, why don't you just give us a thumbnail sketch of the plot?
Absolutely. So I note that this is the third in the series, featuring Joe King Oliver, a private investigator. Now, Joe, for those of you out there with some jazz background, he shares his name with a legendary jazz performer. There's some suggestion of a link to some sort of musicality, or at least gives you kind of a sense of the environment here. Now, this story takes place mostly in Los Angeles. And here, the audiobook starts with Joe visiting his grandma B, and his grandma B is dying and her wish is for Joe to find her missing son, which is, of course, Joe's father. And there is a complication in that relationship, but he does do the work that he has been asked to do. So this makes a lot of tension happen right at the beginning. Also, I should note that Dion Graham embodies Joe. He is a PI, but he's got a lot of rough edges. He's a tough guy. He's used to tough situations. This book is filled with those. But as the title suggests, he's also a man with heart and the propensity to get into maybe some ethical dilemmas. And the way that Dion delivers this just makes it even more effective. I listened to this with a lot of empathy, hearing the struggles that he's going through.
And Walter Mosley is so good about ethical dilemmas that PIs can get into.
Absolutely.
He really knows how to maneuver around that and through that and the implications of that. And Dion, of course, has all the nuances anyone could want to be able to convey that in an audiobook.
Absolutely. I think it's just a really nice fit between narrator and author. So, like I said, if this happens to be your very first Mosley, your very first Joe King Oliver, you're not going to be lost. Dion he's a great guide in his voice.
Well, why don't we hear a little bit? Do you need to set this up?
I'll do that. So in this clip, you're going to hear a hint of this conflict, but also heart in Dion's voice, because one of the subplots or one of the plots of this audiobook is that Joe Oliver is tasked with finding a missing woman.
All right.
And in this clip, you'll hear him talking to her for, I believe, the first time.
This is Been Wrong So Long, It Feels Like Right. It's book 3 of the King Oliver series by Walter Mosley, and it's read by Golden Voice Dion Graham.
Marley Mirabelle Mann. That was the name she gave. She was somewhere around 34 years of age and well schooled in the arts and graces of civilized decorum. "What do you do for fun, George?" she asked me. We were sitting across from each other at the Versailles, a French restaurant housed within the Cordon Bleu Hotel on the northern border of Midtown Manhattan. I was wearing a tapered blue suit with an off-white dress shirt and a maroon tie. "Didn't they tell you about my job?" I asked, even though I understood her question quite well. "Yes," she said. "Of course, but—" The woman calling herself Marley Mann wore a one-piece frock that was a slightly darker blue than my ensemble. The dress was made from the kind of silk that relaxes on the body, making her seem upscale and yet informal. Her skin was a tone of rich blonde ivory, her eyes gray like mildly tarnished silver.
That was some description, and it was delivered wonderfully. I mean, Dion literally can and does narrate anything and everything brilliantly, and he got an Audie Award this year
He sure
for
did.
a YA title.
Yeah, it's that's his versatility just right there front and center, and I'm just here for it. So I have to say, whenever I see an audiobook listing, if I see him narrating it, it's almost a given that I'm probably going to at some point make room for it. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, no, me too. That is Been Wrong So Long It Feels Like Right. It's book 3 in the King Oliver series by Walter Mosley, and it's read by Dion Graham. Well, your first one is under the belt, Stephen.
I am so thrilled. Thanks again. I appreciate it so much.
Not at all, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Talk to you then.
Talk to you then.
Support for Behind the Mic comes from Dreamscape, an award winning audiobook publisher with a catalog that includes authors Viet Tong Nguyen, Frida McFadden, and Katie Robert. Discover your next great listen at dreamscapepublishing.com. If you like Behind the Mic, leave us a rating and don't forget to follow us on the platform of your choice. I'm Jo Reed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.